right, great. My name is Matt Williams. The name of my company is Pipeline to Dreams. I just want to first start off by saying thank you to Mr. David Tarver, because I am actually the only company that does not exist in this. So I want to thank you for letting me participate in this. I just want, as we get started, I want to start off with a little exercise. If you guys can just close your eyes for me real quick. Close your eyes. Imagine that one of your really free-spirited friends invited you to a party. The party theme is anything goes but clothes.
Oh, wow. That's not good for me.
So you decide, you work up all your might, all of your confidence, and you decide to go to this party. You open the door to the party, and everybody is staring. You are the only one who showed up naked. Well, you just imagine, you guys can open up your eyes. You just imagine what it feels like to be a person who is interested in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. You walk into the door and you want to be in here. You want to do it. You want to be a part of this program, or you want to be a part of some type of STEM activity, even in school. You're interested, but something happens that discourages you. This picture here, that leads us to a problem. The demand for STEM fields is growing. From 2012 to 2022, there's expected to be a 1 million job growth in STEM fields. The problem is that the talent pool is not keeping up. There aren't enough students that can actually say they're interested in STEM and then go to being a STEM professional. If you look at this picture here, this is me from freshman year, this person right here, freshman year. This is the National Society of Black Engineers PCI chapter at my high school. This is me graduating as a mechanical engineer. Out of all of this group, there's about 15 students here. There were 2 that went into any type of STEM field. That is why my company was developed. So we're developing a company that develops a tool that tracks and gap fills support systems for STEM students interested in STEMs, so they can go from interested to actually being STEM professionals. There's lots of research that says that there are about 5 factors that go into you being successful in STEM. And the 5 factors are financial support, community involvement, family support, field experience, and school engagement. This creates what we call the STEM network of support. This creates students who are supported wholeheartedly, and when they walk into the room as a naked person, they give them cheers. Yeah, you're the trendsetter. Actually, everybody else takes off their clothes. Because now we have people who are ready to participate with you and ready to support you, and you feel comfortable now. Sorry. What we are doing is we're developing an app that tracks STEM activities. This app says, okay, I'm a student and I'm interested in STEM. There are 5 factors that I need to be measured. If I include my activities, my outside of school activities, and I include my inside of school activities into this app, then it'll give me a running score of about 80. It'll give me a running score out of 100%. If that score is 80%, it'll give you a recommendation for the other 20%. It'll say, okay, you're lacking community support. You're lacking community engagement. How about you get involved in your local Boys and Girls Club? How about you get involved in some type of activity for mentorship, because you're lacking the family of support. These things, the app is actually the second step, because we're going to scale up from, my original said a checkup. So we're going to do a checkup starting with me. So we're going to go into schools and say, hey, you're a student interested in STEM. How about we do a checkup for you? How about we say, where are you at? We'll do an evaluation and sell your family this checkup. students are willing to pay, families are willing to pay for their student success. Then we scale it up again, and once we have this app developed, it creates data. There's conversations called data is the new oil. Thank you for that insight focus. But data is the new oil. Everybody wants data. We talk about Facebook. People got mad at Facebook, but that was their business proposition. They were supposed to sell that data. And so this is what we're going to do. We're going to sell that data to help build a support system. We're going to say, okay, schools, you need data to say where are your students at in STEM? What are the gaps that needed to be filled? Advisors, what do these students need to get to the resources that they need? Here are the gaps that needed to be filled. Here are the resources that you can provide for them. We sell that, then on a bigger scale, we scale that up to a workforce development pipeline. So then we say corporations, look, you have a shortage of STEM. That's our big problem. Now, what do your students need to fill this problem? How do you solve that problem? You hear everybody talking about, oh, we got a STEM shortage, but people are not doing anything about it. They'll throw a little bit of change on it. They'll throw a little bit of program here, program there. There's nothing to connect all these programs, first of all. And then, second of all, are these programs actually working? Are we looking at that? That's what this app does. So we're talking about the educational technology industry. It is a $9.5 billion industry globally. In the US, it's $1.5 billion. It has tons of room to grow. We are actually behind, and we know in STEM period we're behind, but as an industry, $1.5 billion, most of that is coming out of China. We're going to enter the market as Mr. STEM, me. I want to come to your school, I want to present to your students, I want to become a mentor, and I'm going to launch this tool. When I launch this tool, I say, hey, families, after I give a presentation, tell you how STEM is important to you, then I say, this tool is $100 for a year. That's $25 a quarter. That gives you a mentor checkup once a quarter. That gives you a STEM checkup. You have access to this app. Now you can see what your student, it creates like a system of accountability. You can see what your students are doing, and then I can also come in and be a mentor to your student. How do we make money? We make money by selling this tool, 1, to family, 2, to advisors and schools, 3, to industries like Ford, companies like Ford. Ford is very interested in developing their STEM pipeline. They already have a lot of programs going on. They're giving money here, they're giving money there, but are they keeping track of how that money is being used? Most likely, are they successful of how that money is being used? No, they're not. They're not keeping track of the impact that money is actually taking. So this becomes a workforce development tool that says, I need students that are interested in engineering. How do I get them interested? I see there's a gap here, that majority of my students within a 60-mile radius have a gap in family resources. So how do I get more mentorship in? We also talked about we also want this to be a digital resume tool. So not only can students enter that activities, but that activity is tracked. Now, when you graduate from high school, you already have a resume of all the things you've been interested in. You already have an activity list. And not only can your advisors use that, but companies can use that as well. We're going to spend money, of course, on doing data analysis. We're going to spend money on software development, and we're going to spend money on marketing and sales, aka my salary. This has something in it too. The competitive strategy is that the people interaction. So not only are you getting an app, but you're getting a mentor. You're getting somebody who's there, who is talking to you. I've experienced it. I understand the pipeline. I know how hard it is to get a job. I know how hard it is to get through the pipeline. Mm-hmm. I am there as a mentor, and that's what you're getting. And other companies, there are no other companies doing this. There are no other companies keeping track of what our students are being active in STEM. What fields our students are being active in STEM. The team, just to tell you a little bit about myself, I am a mechanical engineer currently working as a sales engineer, and I am actually getting somebody who, one of my best friends is a web designer, and he actually does Eaton Corporation's corporate interface. So he is actually working with me really closely to develop that. Lessons learned. Corporations need to see the bottom line. How does this affect your dollars? That's something we're working on. How do we tweak this revenue model so that this is not just a social program? This is something that actually works in your HR recruitment line. We talked about next steps of being a revenue model. We have to still do some research on the tool development. It's really validation of the tool development. And then the next thing is we got to launch Mr. Stone.
A minute over.
That's it. Questions?